Hello, welcome back to your MAC4867. In this session, we want to look at one of our first activities that we are given. Basically, it's session meant specifically to guide you on how to tackle such a question. All right. Now, the first question reads, identify at least 5 risk factors faced by Kulula.com Airlines. So the question is not asking you for the risks that Kulula is facing, but risk factors, meaning the sources of those particular risks that Kulula can face. Now, what I normally would recommend you guys to do is basically to make use of the personally analysis, because there will be political factors, right? Economic factors, socio-cultural factors, technological factors, right? Legal factors, institutional factors, as well as international factors. So these are the risk factors that Kulula faces. However, the question may go further to ask you to discuss these risk factors that Kulula faces. Now, in this regard, in this question, you've only been asked to identify the risk factors, and the question ends there. However, the question may ask you to discuss or to evaluate if it's in the case of a particular case study. In this case, you have not been given any information to use in order to evaluate the position that Kulula will be in given the risk factors thereof. However, these are possible questions that may be asked. Okay. All right. Hopefully, this clarifies the difference between a question that wants risk factors and a question that wants particular risks. Because a question that wants particular risks will go into those specific risks. However, a question that wants risk factors will only give you an identification of the particular risks thereof. Okay. Right. And then the second question that we have, what are the potential differences between the risks? Now, this question now wants you to identify differences between the risks that may be faced by a restaurant and those faced by a government department. Okay. So now, in order for you to answer this question, remember the question wants only the differences. Okay. The question only wants differences between risks faced by a restaurant and a government department. In order for you to be able to answer this question accurately, you need to consider the same risk factors that may be faced by both nature of organizations, right? However, you need to pin out the differences in what they may potentially face in as much as risks are concerned. Like, for instance, a restaurant normally is privately owned and therefore would face, in most cases, would face financial constraints, right? However, a government department is funded by the government and therefore is limited to the budget that has been allocated by the government. Okay, so now you'll see the solution that is attached here, that it gives you a detailed explanation of these particular differences. Thank you.